Hello and welcome to the in-depth series of Drishti IAS. My name is Pooja. Today we are going to talk about lumpy skin disease. Many of us have heard of it, but the details we need to know from the perspective of UPSC examination as well as mains examination. So let us, without any further ado, begin with lumpy skin disease. First of all, let us know the dimensions to which our dedication will be. Importantly, we have to understand the geographical distribution. Geographical distribution, how did it spread to India? And is it really safe to consume milk from the infected cattle? Of course, the lumpy skin disease symptoms and treatment will also be discussed. And why do we think that the current virus, the current outbreak of the virus is very different from 2019? How bad is the current situation? There are many economic implications of this disease, and is the government doing anything? Also a question at the end. Moving ahead with lumpy skin disease. Lumpy skin disease, it is a viral disease that affects the cattle. Why is it called lumpy? Because of the enlargement of lymph nodules which are present in cows, like any other animal or even humans. These are bean-shaped parts of the immune system. When they get enlarged, they might become lumpy in nature because of that enlargement. So that is why lumpy skin disease. How does it spread? Now certain vectors, such as species of flies, mosquitoes or ticks. These are blood-sucking vectors. The Food and Agriculture Organization, a UN agency, has said that when infected animals, they shed the virus through oral and nasal secretion. They can cause the infection to exaggerate. How? Because we think that in one common bowl, if the entire shed cattle is drinking water, the nasal secretion can spread to other cattle as well. Similarly, it can spread through animal semen during artificial insemination as well. So this is a threat to getting a good mix of breed of cattle as well. Moving ahead, let us talk about the other very important details. Of course, it is caused by the lumpy skin disease virus. The genus or the class of this virus is 𝐃𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐡 virus, and the family of this virus is Poxviridae. It shares the same antigenic similarities with sheeppox virus and goatpox. What does it mean? It means that if any cattle is infected by this particular virus, the immune response will be the same as we see in sheeppox virus infection or goatpox virus infection. But one thing is of a huge relief to humans, that it is not a zoonotic disease. That means it cannot jump species from cattle, the bovine species, to human beings. So that is the only solace here. Let us talk about the symptom. As in the beginning itself, I told you the lymph nodes get enlarged, and these infected animals, they get the enlargement of 2 to 5 centimeter. The diameter is such of the limbs, and then it appears like lumps on the skin, giving the name lumpy skin disease. If we talk about where do these lumps can occur, infected cattle's head, neck, limbs, udders, genitalia and perineum. The symptoms can range from depression, anorexia, rhinitis, conjunctivitis, excess salivation, apart from lower milk production, reproductive problems, abortions and many more. These particular lymph node enlargements can later on turn into ulcers or develop scabs over the skin. If they will develop ulcers, they wouldn't want to eat much, and hence the milk production gets declined. The poor animal suffers, as well as the income of the farmers also suffer. And the important thing over here, if we talk about the clinical signs, is the incubation period for this particular virus is 4 to 14 days post-infection. Initial period, we see high fever and swollen lymph glands as well. And necrotic lesions can also develop in respiratory and gastrointestinal tract. That means necrotic lesion means necrosis is a phenomenon in which the cells die by the consumption of their own enzymes which they release. It's a premature death of the cells. And lesions, that means if they occur in huge scale at a region. So these can also be the problem. Morbidity is between 5% to 45%, and we have lost a lot of cattle because of this. If we talk about the treatment, one thing that we know for sure is that right now there is no sure treatment, but we do have vaccination. If vaccination is provided to more than, the coverage can be more than 80% to 90%, we can deal with the virus. Now, due to cross protection with the 𝐃𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐡𝐭𝐢 virus genus, sheeppox virus, vaccines have been widely used for cattle against the lumpy skin disease. So there is one thing. Apart from that, if we talk about the geographical origin and the spread, it originated in Zambia in 1929, a country in Africa. And then it spread to many other countries in Africa. See, the red ones are where the lumpy skin disease was earlier reported, green ones where no report was done. So this is the scenario of 2005. As we can see that once it was never reported in India and many Southeast Asian and Asian countries. Only certain parts of Central Asia plus certain parts of Middle East, that is West Asia, and countries from Africa saw it. India fortunately did not have it. Certain countries in Southeast Asia did have it. So in 2005, that was the scenario. Now West Asia, Southeastern Europe and Central Asia started seeing their occurrence. Apart from that, more recently, it spread to South Asia and China in 2019. And as per the FAO, there are certain countries which are seeing currently endemic nature of this particular virus, specifically in Africa, parts of West Asia, that is Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Syrian Arab Republic and Turkey as well. Okay. And apart from that, since 2015, the grip became larger and it spread to Russia, Central Asian countries, almost all the Middle Eastern countries, but still not India. Comes 2019, we reported our cases in India, Bangladesh and many other, China as well, many other Southeast Asian countries along with entire Africa. Here we still do not see the outbreak. How did it spread to India? The origin can be traced from Bangladesh. It was the first country in Bangladesh, according to FAO, was the first country in South Asia to see the spread. Then India saw the spread in August 2019, specifically in the states of Odisha and West Bengal, the beginning. So because of the porous border plus cattle smuggling, we could see that this disease got its foothold in India. Moving ahead, if we talk about is it safe to consume the milk? Right now there have been no studies to refute the claims or establish it. Yes, it's not safe. But one thing that we have to know, because of pasteurization or boiling of milk or even converting into dry powder, in the entire process the virus gets killed and one cannot get infected. Also, it is safe in the sense that because it is not a zoonotic disease, you can drink the milk either by boiling it or before boiling it. This is according to Indian official statement. Moving ahead, let's know if the current virus is structurally different or not. Yes, many scientists have said that it is structurally different. Specifically from CSIR, IGIB and the State Disease Diagnostic Center, they extracted the genome of the virus, the current ones, and 6 genomes showed that it has little similarity to the global genomes of the virus which caused the outbreak in 2019. And this was made available through the gene bank, in which the genetic the DNA of the last outbreak, 2019 outbreak, was stored. That virus was stored. So it was different. 177 unique variants came, and it is different from the 4 genome sequence from India belonging to the 2019 outbreak. So there are structural differences. One thing that we have to know over here, that we have our own indigenously developed vaccine with respect to lumpy skin disease, that is the Lumpy Pro VAC-IND. Okay, and it has been developed by the Indian Veterinary Research Institute with the collaboration from the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, National Research Center on Equines. And the vaccine is a live attenuated vaccine, and it is a weakened version of the virus. That means once a cattle gets vaccinated, they might get similar immune response, but they will not get infected. So this can give the boost to immune system. So right now, if we talk about the situation, it's pretty bad. Current outbreak started in Gujarat and Rajasthan. Later, it spread to Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Andaman Nicobar and Uttarakhand. Jammu Kashmir is also witnessing it along with Uttar Pradesh and Haryana. Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Delhi and Jharkhand are also witnessing it. So it has spread to more than 10 states and union territories. 16 lakh cattle in 197 districts have been infected. And of the nearly 75,000 cattle that the disease has killed, more than 50,000 deaths have occurred. Okay, and mostly cows have been infected and have died in Rajasthan. Moving ahead, let us talk about another important thing, that how can we control it. This is according to Food and Agriculture Organization. Vaccination of the susceptible population, specifically which are living near the regions of border areas like Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab, specifically from Pakistan and also from China and Bangladesh. We need to vaccinate them. 80% coverage is required. Secondly, we need to control the movement of bovines from one place to another. Another thing is we have to implement biosecurity through vector control. This can happen by sanitizing sheds and spraying insecticides. Quarantine is also a very important part. Another thing is we have to strengthen active and passive surveillance, specifically in the current time when GPS and artificial intelligence are a thing of the present. Why not employ it? Spreading awareness on risk mitigation among the stakeholders, specifically farmers and village areas, specifically those people who deal with the bovines, and creating large protection and surveillance zones and vaccination zone. If we can defeat coronavirus, we can also defeat lumpy skin disease virus. Only political will and the awareness of the population is needed. Now, economic implications. One of the economic implications, of course, is on the income, and it's substantial and severe, like reduced milk production. As I told you, if the cattle doesn't want to eat, if the cattle won't be able to eat, the milk production will get impacted, and this can happen. Another thing that can happen is poor growth of the udders, poor growth of the bovine itself, reduced drought power capacity. During drought period, the cattle can die because of reduced immunity. Reproductive problems can occur. Artificial insemination can also lead to lumpy skin disease infection, so that is also off the charts. Abortions, infertility and lack of semen, economic strain on the whole supply value chain. Right now, Amul has said that that won't cause a problem. They're still in the process of, strengthening the supply chain and vaccinating. What is the government doing? Government has said that we do have the vaccine. So, goat pox vaccine is very effective against LSD, plus the commercialization is in the process. It has not been commercialized. Which one? The indigenously developed one. 97 lakh doses of vaccine have already been administered, and many states are very vigilant with respect to such things, specifically quarantining and movement of cattle. Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Delhi and Uttar Pradesh are certain states that have developed dedicated control rooms for getting out of this particular trouble. And also helpline numbers have been launched by these states in order to guide the farmers who are seeing their cattle suffering from the lumpy skin disease. So dedicated approach is being done. Let us move on to the question. The first case of lumpy skin disease was recorded in which of the following countries? Namibia, Zambia, Nigeria, Mozambique. Okay. Let me take the names of those who have answered my last question correctly. So yes, I asked two questions last time. One was, of course, the last slide, but one was in between. Many of you have answered the last one correctly. Sajid has answered it correctly. Kritika, Prapti, Tushita, and Balaji, Bhavna, Bikki, Abhiraj, Dharmpreet has answered both my questions. Thank you so much. Poland and 5th June is the correct answer. I asked when is the Environment Day celebrated. That means you all pay attention to what I say. Thank you so much. Bhavna has answered one question but not the other question. The myths one, she has answered it correctly, 5th June. Then we have Donald, correct. Divya answered it correctly. Supriya, Anuj, it's Ridzi, then Shrishti, Ravi, also Simran, and Faizu has answered it correctly. Nibha has answered it correctly. Hina, Guru Prasad, also Muhammad, Kaif, Pallavi, Saurav, and Raghav, Glenn, Anayas, and also many of you have answered both the questions. Thank you so much. Nutan Tiwari, good job. And Nisha has answered it correctly. Rupal, again, good job. You have answered both the questions correctly. Then same for Aditya, very well done. Then we also have Devu. Thank you for writing such a long post for telling everybody the different COPs. We do appreciate it. And Anayas, thank you. Have answered one more question of the myths one. So great job, all of you answer this question as well. I will take your names again. Thank you so much.